How's it going, everyone? Want to go over a bunch of stories in this video. First of all, I always like to give you guys a heads up when a game is gonna get delisted forever. I'm gonna be real with you guys. This is one where, again, that we want to have those complete libraries, or, you know, the digital libraries and whatnot. Dropping $60 on a game that honestly has a mediocre reception. I don't know if that's something you guys want to do, but we'll talk about it. Elden Ring Nightreign has had a bit of a mixed reception. Everybody that I've talked to in my friend group that is super into the Souls-like titles they all seem to love it. So, I've been hearing about the general criticisms that people have had. I played it myself, but I'm never gonna get into a game like this like some of my boys do. But I do want to talk a little bit about that with a significant free update coming, adding a feature that has been long awaited. We'll talk about that. And a PC title that will finally be making its way on over to PlayStation 5, Frostpunk 2. We do have the official launch date on that. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But first of all, Project Cars 3 will delist from all storefronts on August the 24th. The game's online modes will remain active until February 24th. This is ultimately a reality you have to accept when it comes to racing games. Racing games, you're talking about licensing out a lot of vehicles from various manufacturers, and when those expire, GG, the game's gonna go. And the crazy thing about it is Project Cars 3 released just 5 years ago. It's not that old. It came out August 28th of 2020, so what I assume is that there was a 5-year deal as far as the licensing goes, and that deal is coming to an end, and they don't view the value is there to keep Project Cars still available. The game will be getting delisted. Unfortunately, it's not on sale. Dude, you're delisting the game. Put this game on sale for like $4.99, $9.99 even, and I think a lot of people would pick it up. I think some people just like want to have all the games available on the PlayStation Store, so they're gonna end up spending $60 for it. But that's absolutely vomit-inducing, spending $60 on this game when it is, you know, kind of a mediocre received game. Now, it should be noted, Project Cars 3 has a physical release, and the physical release can be bought on Amazon as I'm recording this video for $14.15 with a $3.99 delivery fee. But usually when these games get delisted, price points do juice up. John Wick's Hex recently got delisted, and nobody really cared about the game outside of the fact that, you know, it's a John Wick game, cool, but it's not like it was a huge story. That game got delisted, and then physical copies on the Nintendo Switch in particular shot up like crazy. Let me actually pull that up for you guys right now so I can have a actual price point on it, because I remember, yeah, okay, so this Nintendo Switch copy, $60, $77 is another listing. The PlayStation copy is also listed at $70, $100 here for this listing, and that's a game that not a lot of people cared all too much about, so just keep that in mind. Maybe pick up that $15 copy physically, but as far as the digital version goes, I mean, yeah, I don't think that's really worth it at $60, but you do whatever the hell you want to do. Alright, moving on from that, Elden Ring Nightreign finally getting its update to add duo expeditions. I know a lot of people have been waiting on that, you know, 1 in 3 players kind of nonsense. On July 30th, 2025, take on Knight's Terrors as 2 Kindred Souls. Duo expeditions will be added in patch 1.02. On top of that, patch 1.02 will include quality of life UI improvements, including more relics, filtering options. Thank you for your passion, Nightfarers. Again, I've talked to a lot of people that are super into this genre, and I feel like, you know, the people that I talk to, it's gonna be a good gauge on how that audience, because I have friends that are in varying areas as far as how much they're into Souls-like games. I have friends that Souls-like games are the only games they literally play, literally the only games, and then I have other friends that, you know, they'll enjoy the Souls-like here and there. They're a fan of Elden Ring, Dark Souls, etc., but they're not knee-deep into it. Again, everybody that I've talked to, it's generally been the same consensus from that fan base. So again, the hardcores and the more normal, I would say normal fans, the more average fans of Souls-like games, seems to be, fundamentally, they see a lot of potential. It has a lot of promise in terms of this style of gameplay in a multiplayer environment. There should be more content in the game. I've been hearing that. And From Software, I guess they just don't have a lot of quality of life experience as far as creating a competent multiplayer experience with all of the quality of life features that have been come to expect out of 2025. We need things like cross-platform play, better discussion, better chat, etc., etc. And again, the duo mode not being available right out the gate, kind of jarring there as well. But, you know, give From Software, and if any studio has earned the chance to you know, release a game and then have that game be a baseline for something that they can grow from Software is that studio, and the game doesn't have a significant amount of people playing it. It's got 32,000 concurrent players on Steam right now, but this is one of those games that I feel like people picked up right out the gate. It peaked at, I want to say, well over 200,000 players, maybe even 300,000. I think it was 230-ish thousand, but it did very well. It sold millions of copies. But ultimately, when people finish up the content in the game, they're gonna move on, but that's fine. Like, I have friends that have gotten 40, 50, 60 hours out of the game, and it was a $40 budget title as well. From Software is gonna put out their major single-player games. I feel like some people got a little bit confused that they're putting out Nightreign, then they got Dustbloods, and both of these are multiplayer-focused titles. However, Dustbloods was a partnership with Nintendo, and that game was a smaller-scale game that was gonna be on the Switch, got spun into the Switch 2. They're working on a mainline single-player game. We know that to be a fact, and I would imagine that that game would come out in 2027. 2027 would also be 5 years from the release of Elden Ring. That makes sense to me, being whatever their next major single-player game is, 2027 for that. That would actually be a little bit of a layoff, but Armored Core came out in 26, Shadow of the Erdtree 24, yeah, Nightreign in 25, Dustbloods in 26, rumblings of a Dark Souls 3 remaster for the 10th anniversary. That would make sense. You could port it onto the Nintendo Switch 2 as well. That just makes sense to me. They'll have output, and again, if From wants to do something a little bit smaller scale as a bridge the gap kind of game, they're the ones to, and I don't even care for their games like that. Loved Armored Core, but I know people love their games, and the output I see from Software in comparison to some of these other studios, the Naughty Dogs of the world, the BioWares of the world, if From wants to take a year and do Elden Ring Nightreign and do an experience like that, more power to them. Guess what? They're one of the most consistent development studios on planet Earth. Their output is crazy. Do a Nightreign. That's not a big deal. Let's work on it, let's get it better, and hey, maybe Nightreign and this style of experience can be something that's looked at as a launching pad for other games of this ilk as well from Software. If they want to do a main single-player game and then have a multiplayer experience that they're supporting as well, I think that makes a lot of sense, especially with their level of output. When they can put out so many games, I don't have a problem with them working on a multiplayer game here or there, especially, again, if their output on the single-player stuff is still stellar, which it has been. Lastly, I do want to note Frostpunk 2 will be available for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series on September the 18th. Great to see this finally get a release date. Has been available on PC for a little bit, going back to September of last year. Noting, drawing from lessons learned during the original Frostpunk's console port, the development team has further refined the circular, easily navigatable interface. The port allows players to guide the politics and people of New London with the palms of their hands on controller and thumbsticks alike. Several improvements help tailor the control scheme for gamepads and provide quick access to vital actions. Players can use bumper buttons to cycle between districts of the same type, a dynamic radial menu that appears over resource piles, and present actions specific to them. Additionally, following the console release, the PC version of Frostpunk 2 will receive an update enabling players to use this new UI scheme whenever a gamepad is connected, so that's great as well. Frostpunk 2 on consoles will be out September the 18th, which is just the day before Dying Light the Beast, which got its release date shifted as well. So a lot of games coming out here in August, September, October. Going to be a busy time for sure. That's going to do it for me. Again, Project Cars 3 getting delisted forever. $60 a little bit pricey. Go check out the physical copy if you want. Elden Ring Nightreign finally getting duo mode on July 30th, and Frostpunk 2 coming September the 18th. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.